is her recorded her she released a recorded statement asserting her innocence about a year after she was arrested.
Hmm.
She was arrested in 2023. So in May of 2024, she released this statement, and also just after she gets her new defense team.
Okay.
So get this pulled up. Okay. So Kouri Richens, the Utah mother and author, accused of poisoning and killing her husband with fentanyl, continued to assert her innocence with her first public comments since being taken into custody. Just a year since she was charged with the first degree aggravated murder and now also the attempted murder charges of her husband, Eric, Kouri Richens said the world has yet to hear the real facts of the case in a recorded message sent to ABC News. Richens said speaking out for the first time is terrifying but needed. The media has twisted and turned what they think they know into what will sell or what will get the most views, said Richens, continuing to say it was time for damage control. Whatever, lady. Richens claimed the world has yet to hear or who she is, what she did, or what she didn't do. She answered all three by saying she is the wife of Eric Richens and the mom to three boys. She said what she did was to protect Eric at all costs. She continued to insist that she did not murder Eric and would not do that to anyone. But she did, lady. Sorry.
Yep, she
All
sure did.
evidence. Yeah. All evidence I'm seeing she did. That's my opinion. I'm asking the world to give me a chance. Give me a chance to prove it to you, Richens said. I will show you the facts. I will show you the evidence. I will not give up. I will not give in. Please just give me a chance. Richens was recently appointed new counsel, blah, blah, blah. Walk the dog letter. There you go. And FYI, for those who don't know, um, she is accused of poisoning she made a Moscow Mule drink for him, which is an alcoholic drink, and she put the fentanyl in that, and that is how they believe she poisoned Eric. There was, the request for the prosecution to be dismissed as well. That's pretty normal in these cases. I'll just read you this quick article here. I mean, it is pretty normal. The defense is going to pull out all the stops to request, the prosecution be dismissed, evidence to not be shown, uh, anything, and pretty much anything to delay.
Usually, if they're guilty, they want to delay, huh?
Mm.
A lot of time. Oh, we're talking about the prosecution?
No, the defense filed a motion to
Okay, sorry.
disqualify the prosecution. Obviously, the judge denied it, but we'll read as to why. So, more than a year after Kouri Richens' arrest for allegedly poisoning her husband, the murder case is finally moving toward a preliminary hearing after a judge dismissed dismissed a motion seeking to disqualify the prosecution. This was in August 8th of 2024. The motion sought to disqualify the prosecution due to an allegation that prosecutors violated Richens' Sixth Amendment rights by intruding on attorney-client privileges. The concerns rose after jail staff and a prosecutor allegedly accessed phone calls between Richens and her attorney. However, documents say that after the jail staff member and attorney realized the calls were with an attorney, they immediately turned off the recordings and did not hear any privileged information. For this reason, Judge Richard Mrazek ruled there was no credible evidence of an intentional intrusion into the attorney-client privilege and dismissed the motion. The defense provided no opposition during the hearing to the judge's conclusion. And while the hearing was heavily lenient in favor of the prosecution since the start, State Prosecutor Margaret Olson shared some strongly worded opinions on the motion, alluding to the possibility that defense lawyers were purposely using it to pave the way for a possible retrial in the future. Of course, that's just all strategy.
They're sneaky, sneaky.
Mhm. She called the accusation that they violated Richens' rights speculative at best and bad faith at worst, adding that if it wasn't thoroughly addressed, po- it could be a possible grenade in the future of the trial. It is wrong for a lawyer to intentionally throw a wrench into the gears of the system of justice, to intentionally procure a fundamentally flawed proceeding, Olson said. Judge Mrazek redirected the conversation, saying he had to respectfully disagree, stating, "Let's just stay focused on what was in the motion and what evidence there is, if any." Mrazek reiterated that there was no evidence of a prosecutor intruding or violating Richens' rights, and therefore they could dismiss the motion and move on to the preliminary hearing. I can understand why your office is really pissed. I love the wording.
Right.
Judge says really pissed with the content of that motion, but the evidence is not enough to form a Sixth Amendment violation. So there you go. So they moved on to the stop the preliminary hearings.
Okay.
And these are kind of long. So these were like 2 day, they were, it took 2 days, all day
Mhm.
long.
Oh gosh.
Um, so I have it split into two. Make sure, stop playing. So maybe we'll get through like maybe at least the first one. The second one we might have to continue because the first one is like 5.5 hours long, but I'm gonna speed it up, and then it also includes like break times and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but I need to get some coffee and make some tea and stuff. So you need to
Okay.
just give me a little bit here, but
Go take a break.
hang on just a second. And she does appear in court, by the way.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, Trent's loud. When I get back, I'm gonna close the door.
Okay.
Okay, so do this one. Oh my God, and all my cats are loud. Everybody's loud.
Same thing over here too.
Mhm. All right, so let's get this one too. That. Oh, did I do the right one? I did. Okay. Come on. Oh, let's see. Come on. Let me stop that. Stop that. Can you hear this?
No, I
I
don't
don't
hear
think they're
anything.
talking yet. Obviously, they're not talking yet. Okay. All right. So I am going to be right back. Give me a few
Okay.
minutes.
You might want to turn it up just a little bit if you can.
Um, got it on full. It's full. It
Okay.
is all the way up. Let me
Okay.
see. So I've got captions on. Okay. Looks like they just needed to boost their volume.
Okay.
Give me a few minutes.
All right. Take your time.
Your Honor.
What is 66? You referenced 66, but
Right.
understood. It's already in the budget. Got it.
It is, Your Honor.
And 66 is exhibit, correct, counsel? Stipulated, my apologies. Is 67 stipulated?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 67 and 7A are,
Your Honor, may I?
of course.
Thank you. Your Honor, the final two exhibits are docket references 123 and 124. I'm not sure how they got left out of some of the earlier discussion on this, but they did, so. The statement was 123 and 124.
Any objection?
No objection.
Docket entries 123 and 124 are admitted for the purpose of today's preliminary hearing.
Your Honor, unless the court has anything to say, we'll call Detective O'Driscoll.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, Mr. Ramos, anything housekeeping wise?
No, Your Honor, nothing else.
Okay. Detective, let's get you sworn.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the things and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, the state tenders Detective O'Driscoll for cross-examination in the scope of the direct conducted at the detention.
Understood. Ms. Lewis.
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
We haven't met. I'm Wendy Lewis, one of Ms. Richens' attorneys.
Thank you.
So, Detective O'Driscoll, when was it that you were first asked to take over this case?
In March of 2023.
And who was on this matter before you as lead detective?
Detective Jamie Woody.
And why was this matter turned over from Detective Woody to yourself?
Detective Woody moved divisions from the investigations division to the patrol division. She had an opportunity to have some auxiliary assignments that are only available in that division, specifically a canine handler position.
Did you ever become aware of any evidence or any issues with Detective Woody mishandling evidence in this case or other cases?
No.
All right, when you first took over this case in March of 23, what was it that you reviewed initially?
I was not able to review the entirety of the information that was available in the case, but specifically, most of the information that I received was from updates from investigators that had been working the case prior to me. I was able to review some of the supplemental reports that had been entered into our CAT file, but I don't recall the entirety of every document or piece of information that I reviewed.
Did you review all the police reports that had been written up to that point?
I'm back.
From our office?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
Did you review
Okay.
all the detective reports?
I believe so, yes.
Now,
Who is this on stand?
who did you interview?
Something, I don't know if he's the one that, like, got the evidence. He's talking about evidence.
Okay.
I'm having a
Um,
hard time hearing it, to be honest. I was
I
trying to
can't
follow
boost it.
and I've tried all on my end, so it must be the video, maybe. You know, sometimes they're low or something.
It is. And because
Because
I've got it
I can
all
hear,
boosted.
yeah, because I can hear you fine. It's just like you're even kind of loud, but I'm
Oh,
having a hard
sorry.
time hearing it. But I think he's with evidence.
See if I can turn my volume down. If I know how. Oh, there's an option to reduce mic background noise. Okay. But it won't let me reduce my volume. Is it okay if I talk like this? Oh, I hope so. Hope you can hear me.
I can hear it, like really good on my phone.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe it's me, but I can hear everything else okay. I don't know if Freddie's still in there. Oh, you can hear it okay? Maybe it's just me. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. You're fine. Um, I don't want to be screaming in anybody's ear. Um,
Yeah. I
but
mean, you
you're
sound
right.
okay.
You're right. Their volume sucks, and it's boosted like all the way. Don't think I have any other way to boost it.
I like the way you have the comments on the screen, or through our look anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to continue. Also, Roomba is doing its second round right now. I do have the door cracked. Hopefully it doesn't come in. All right, here we go.
I conducted, I believe, was with Ms. Richens.
All right. So that interview, well, let me get back to that.
God, that
Before we
volume
talk about
sucks.
the interview with Ms. Richens, did you, I'm gonna go back to the early morning of March 4th, 2022. Did you review evidence about the investigation that was done that night?
Yes.
And what investigation was done at the home that night? Or that early morning hours of March 4th, 2022?
Responding deputies conducted an initial interview with Ms. Richens. Detectives were then called out, and they conducted, I believe, a separate interview with Ms. Richens, as well as other people that were then at the home by the time they arrived. And I believe they conducted a search of the home for any kind of evidence that may have helped them understand what had happened.
And what was seized from the home that night as potential evidence? Are you aware?
I don't know a complete list, no.
Are you aware if anyone was searching for any illegal drugs in the home that night?
I do not know.
Were any illegal drugs found in the home that night?
I don't believe so.
So no fentanyl was found in the home?
Not that I'm aware of.
Were there any unidentified pills, like green pills, blue pills, dark green pills, anything like that found in the home the early morning of March 4th?
I don't believe so.
Were there prescription medications taken at that time?
I believe so, yes. Part of a death investigation is to document and collect prescription medications for the scene. I
Were there
can't
any,
tell you specifically which ones, though.
sorry, were there any non-prescription medications or illegal substances taken from the home that night of any kind?
I don't believe so.
Eventually, or early on when you started the case, were you able to review the medical examiner's report?
Yes.
And what was your understanding of what caused Mr. Richens' death based on that?
The medical examiner's report identified that the cause of death was drug intoxication with a specific drug being fentanyl.
All right. But nothing was found or seized the early morning of March 4th that included fentanyl. Is that correct?
No fentanyl was seized that I'm aware of.
Was there any glassware seized in that initial search?
I don't know.
You don't know if there was glassware seized, such as copper mugs or shot glasses. You're not aware.
I know with review of supplemental reports I could find that information, but right now I don't know if during the first search on the morning after Eric Richens' death, if those were collected or not.
Were they collected at some other time?
Yes, I believe some copper cups were collected from the home subject to a search warrant.
All right. When was that search warrant that was executed on the Richens home? You said after.
There were multiple that were executed. The first one after Eric Richens' death, I believe, was in April that same year, mid to late April. I don't remember an exact date.
Was this after the medical examiner's report had been reviewed?
Yes.
Were you present for that?
No.
But you reviewed reports regarding that search?
Yes.
Was there any Oxycontin found in that search?
I know during one of the searches that there were some prescription opiates that were not in a prescription container that were found in the home. I don't know if they were specifically
Prescription. No.
Were they tested at some point in the course of this investigation?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was poisoned with fentanyl, not other prescription medication.
I could review supplemental reports and get that information, but I don't.
But you don't know. Were there any illegal drugs or drugs that were prescribed that were seized in that April 22 search?
I don't believe so.
Did there come a time that some THC gummies were seized?
Yes.
Do you know when that was?
I would have to check dates on the receipts of those items and evidence. It could have been during that first search in April, or it could have been on a subsequent search. I'm not sure.
So there may have been illegal substances or THC, which is an illegal substance, found in that search.
I believe THC was found in the home during one of the search warrants executed on the home.
And were they in the form of gummies or some other form of THC?
They were dead.
Yeah, and she admitted that there was no hiding that he occasionally did THC edibles.
Edibles. So were the edibles, were you made aware, or are you aware of who the edibles belong to?
We received statements that they belong to Eric, the decedent.
Were those edibles tested?
Yes.
And did you review a report regarding those edibles?
Yes.
And did that report, that initial report, say that there were traces of fentanyl in those edibles?
No.
You did not review a report that said there was fentanyl in the edibles?
No.
So, as you were investigating this case, well, let's strike that. I'll come back to that. So you talked about that your first interview in this case was with Kouri Richens. What was the date of that interview?
I believe it was April 14th of 2023.
So this was about 13 months after Mr. Richens' death.
Correct.
So you said before that conversation with Ms. Richens, and where did that conversation take place?
At her home at 282 West Willow Court in Francis.
And you had reviewed a number of reports prior to that interview.
Several years.
So you had an idea of the investigation that Detective Woody had already done on this matter.
I had a partial understanding of the investigation that she conducted.
Who was with you when you did that interview? Were you alone, or was there another officer with you?
No, Sergeant Hoffmeyer was with me as well.
Had you discussed this matter with him prior to this interview?
I just requested that he accompany me because we had both newly been put into the investigations division and both be fairly involved with the case.
All right. Had you read correspondence prior to this interview with Ms. Richens, from Ms. Richens' prior counsel to Summit County Sheriff's Office?
No.
So you hadn't read any correspondence where Ms. Richens' counsel asked that she not be interviewed with counsel present? You hadn't read those yet?
No, I had not.
Now, taking over as lead investigator, didn't you know that she was represented by counsel?
No, I did not.
During the interview with Ms. Richens,
Not
did
at
you
that
know
time.
she was represented by counsel?
Partway through the interview, it became apparent, yes.
You didn't ask her at any time during the interview if she wanted counsel present, correct?
I did. I told her partway through the interview, her mother, Lisa Darden, came to the home, and she made a statement about whether or not Kouri should talk to us without, she said the word Sky, the name Sky. I assumed that that was an attorney that she had contacted. And at that time, I told her, if you would rather have an attorney present here while we talk, that's fine.
So Kouri is Kouri Richens, which is her brother, just an FYI. I don't know who Sky was her Sky Lazaro was her prior attorney.
Let me show you just a portion of that interview. Hopefully you can do that. Can we show this on the screen to the witness? Thank you. If I could direct you, Detective, to the very bottom of that page is your statement at the bottom of the page. You should just repeat that, not read it all out, if you could repeat that. Now that statement was made as you were leaving the house, correct?
It appears so, yes.
And do you recall that statement that you made to Ms. Richens as you were leaving the house?
Yes.
And what was it you told her then?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
What was it you told her as you were leaving the house, reflected in that statement?
In this statement?
Yes.
That she could have an attorney present while we talk. I'm guessing that's what you're getting at.
But you finished talking for that day, correct?
I believe so.
This was in fact the very end of the transcript that you were walking out of the house, correct?
It looks like it.
And you told her if she wanted an attorney at future interviews, that would be fine.
Yes.
Does that, we'll start that. Isn't it true, Detective, that that is the only time that you told Ms. Richens that she could have an attorney present when being interviewed, if she wished to?
Don't believe she was under arrest.
I recall making that statement.
He was at her
midway
house.
Through the conversation. If it's not in the recording, then I didn't. But I do remember making the statement that we were happy to have an attorney present while we spoke to her.
At least as you were leaving.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the investigation and interviews you did prior to Ms. Richens' arrest. As part of your investigation, is it true, isn't it true, that you looked into Kouri's relationship with a Mr. Grossman?
Yes, some other investigators, I wasn't directly involved with contacting Mr. Grossman, but yes.
And that is someone that you have referred to. Or
Hang on, I'm
personally
gonna do a
has
little
referred to
rewind.
as Ms.
I want to hear that.
What was it you told her then?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
What was it you told her as you were leaving the house, reflected in that statement?
In this statement?
Yes.
That she could have an attorney present while we talk. I'm guessing that's what you're getting at.
But you finished talking for that day, correct?
I believe so.
This was in fact the very end of the transcript that you were walking out of the house, correct?
It looks like it.
And you told her if she wanted an attorney at future interviews, that would be fine.
Yes.
Does that, we'll start that. Isn't it true, Detective, that that is the only time that you told Ms. Richens that she could have an attorney present when being interviewed, if she wished to?
I recall making that statement midway through the conversation. If it's not in the recording, then I didn't. But I do remember making the statement that we were happy to have an attorney present while we spoke to her.
At least as you were leaving.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the investigation and interviews you did prior to Ms. Richens' arrest. As part of your investigation, is it true, isn't it true, that you looked into Kouri's relationship with a Mr. Grossman?
Yes, some other investigators, I wasn't directly involved with contacting Mr. Grossman, but yes.
And that is someone that you
So I still didn't get who the Mr. is that they're talking about, but I believe that the alleged third party drug dealer, so on, is a female, but I could be wrong. I don't know, Freddie, do you remember that? Didn't they bring that up, like her name or something at one point?
referred to, or I don't know if you personally, if it has been referred to in transcripts, as Ms. Richens' paramour, correct?
Correct.
And you reviewed texts between Ms. Richens and this individual, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you also investigate the texts between Eric Richens and the women that he'd been having affairs with during that period of time?
I didn't personally, I don't know that any of our investigators did.
Have you ever reviewed any texts or calls between Eric Richens and women that he was having affairs with prior to this?
Objection, Your Honor, that seems facts. It's also the understood testimony.
So the first part of that objection is overruled. The second part, though, I'm not sure how this has an impact on the probable cause determination the court will need to make.
Well, Your Honor, I believe that the fact that nobody was investigated other than Ms. Richens is relevant. And this would be a potential alternative suspect that
Certainly
there was no
a
investigation.
trial is what is, I understand, but preliminary hearings are not supposed to be a discovery tool. The irrelevance objection is.
So, Detective, are you familiar with someone by the name of Carmen? I believe it's Lauber, is that how it's pronounced?
Yes.
And how are you familiar with her?
She became a person of interest in this case at one point when detectives started investigating associations and contacts of both Kouri and Eric Richens. Investigators from our office were familiar with her background in having a criminal drug history, and she became the target of a separate investigation as she related to Ms. Richens.
Maybe just explain that for me a little more. How was she a target related to the Richens case?
Text messages were located in the defendant's phone from a phone number that was found to belong to Carmen Lauber. At that time, detectives started looking into Carmen Lauber and her activity. They found that she was on a drug court program in another county and started investigating her as related to Ms. Richens having worked with her and having cleaned houses for both her business, her realty business, as well as her personal home.
So just to clarify, Ms. Lauber was cleaning for Ms. Richens' business and in the Richens' household. Did I have that straight?
Correct.
Right. And did you execute a search warrant, or was a search warrant executed on Ms. Lauber's home?
Yes.
Were you present for that?
Yes.
And were there illegal items seized during that time?
Yes.
Was she arrested at that time?
Yes.
Do you recall when that was?
I believe it was towards the end of April 2023. I don't know the exact date.
Okay, so I am not muted anymore because Roomba apparently the battery died and it's going back to charge. So it might actually go back on for a third time. We'll see. This Roomba that I have is a very weak battery. It's loads of fun and takes several hours every day.
So after Ms. Lauber's arrest, did you interview her?
Yes.
How many times have you interviewed her since April of 2023? You or others associated with this investigation?
I believe 4 official planned interviews.
Oh my goodness, this video.
I've spoken with her, but not in an interview setting. Since that's what I'm getting at. Interviewing her in connection with this case, there were 4 that I'm aware of.
Do you know how many hours you spent interviewing her or others associated with this case?
I believe that the detention hearing, I testified that it was around 10. I believe that's accurate.
That's it?
So when did you initially interview Ms. Lauber?
Not very many.
It would have been, I believe, April 26th, shortly after her arrest, maybe a day or 2 after her arrest.
And during that initial interview, can you tell me what took place during that interview?
We spoke to Ms. Lauber about the items that were found in her home subject to the search warrant.
Oh my God. Triple L. Now my neighbors are home and being loud. What is going on here? At least my cat's calmed down. So if you happen to hear any thumping, any kids squealing, it's them. They're very loud people. I'm sorry.
We told her that the charges that she was facing, that she was on drug court probation for in the outside county, could continue to be charged against her due to a violation of her drug court. We told her that she was facing felony distribution charges in that case.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? Distribution of what?
Controlled substance.
What did you seize from her home?
So the charges that she was facing in relation to her drug court were separate from the ones that resulted from the search warrant. But we found illicit THC products as well as a firearm in her home.
And why was the firearm of significance?
It was a violation of her drug court probation to be in possession of a firearm.
Well, she was a convicted felon, isn't that right?
Yes, that's also pertinent.
So she was also potentially looking at charges of felon possession of a firearm, correct?
Correct.
And you told her that in the first interview?
Correct.
Did you tell her that those would be state or federal charges?
I believe we told her that they could be both.
They could be both, or either.
Either, right?
Did you tell her potentially how much time she could be looking at in prison if she was charged and convicted of these additional offenses?
I don't recall saying a specific number of days, but I know we made mention that there was significant jail time attached to those charges.
Significant prison time.
Prison time.
All right, so what did she tell you in that first interview about her associations with Kouri Richens?
She confirmed that she had worked for Kouri in the past. She told us that she knew Kouri through Kouri's aunt Doreen, whom Carmen worked for, cleaning houses. She initially stated that she didn't know anything about what had happened with Eric's death or anything about fentanyl. And we explained to her that the position that we were in to try to investigate anything that might have happened, whether that was inculpatory or exculpatory for anyone, and that any information that she might have about it would be helpful to us.
All right, let me just break that down just a little bit. What did she tell you about ever dealing fentanyl at that time?
She said that she hadn't really ever, in her words, messed with fentanyl. Then she later admitted she had tried it once and didn't have a good experience with it.
Did she tell you a daughter had overdosed on fentanyl?
I don't recall. I could review the video and give you an answer on that, but I don't recall.
And isn't it true she told you she never dealt with fentanyl, that she dealt in pain pills and marijuana and other things of that sort?
In the first interview, yes.
And what did you tell her you could do for her if she gave you information about Eric Richens' death or anything that could help you in the investigation of Eric Richens' death?
We explained to her that if she had information regarding Eric Richens' death, that we could work with the prosecutor who was responsible for her charges, for both the search warrant and the drug court charges. We didn't make her any specific promises, but we told her that we were willing to work with the prosecutor's office on those charges.
Is Ms. Lover in custody at this time? Is she in jail?
No.
All right, was she ever charged with anything that was to do with dealing drugs, a violation of her drug court, or with anything that was seized during that search?
I don't know. I don't believe so. I had no dealings with the inner workings of that county's prosecutor's office after we interviewed Ms. Lauber. After we interviewed Ms. Lauber, we informed the prosecutor's office that she was being cooperative with our investigation, and then they and her attorneys worked out whatever kind of deal they worked out with her.
Well, isn't it true, Detective, that you went back and spoke with Ms. Lauber and guaranteed her that she would not be charged in any way as connected to Eric Richens' death if she continued to cooperate?
I didn't make that statement in those words, but we impressed upon her that, yes, in exchange for helpful information in this case, that she could potentially have reduced or eliminated charges.
Well, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because I know you had a number of interviews with her, and I've certainly reviewed at least 6. Because those interviews were recorded, correct?
Correct.
And any interview that you had with her would be turned over to defense counsel, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Well, we turn it over to the state, and I believe it's their
All right.
opportunity to turn it over to the defense.
So I represented that they have turned over at this time 6 interviews with yourself and Ms. Lauber, or with, who was the other detective, I'm sorry, who was with you during those interviews?
Detective Maynard.
That they've turned over 6 at this time. Would that sound correct to you?
Yes.
All right. So I want to go to the 6th interview, which was May 13th of 2023. Does that sound right?
Yes.
So isn't it true at that interview, you told her that she was going to be testifying in front of a federal grand jury?
I don't recall that.
Marcus?
Am I in the video that you're referencing?
Yes, you are.
I don't recall that.
So you don't recall that you told her that you and Detective Maynard had discussions with U.S. Attorney's Office, and that they had guaranteed you that she would not be charged in connection with Eric's death so long as she testified in front of the jury.
I don't remember it, but it doesn't sound unreasonable.
You're the lead detective, right?
Yes.
Did Ms. Lauer testify in front of the federal grand jury regarding this case?
I don't believe so.
And I think Triple L probably has lost complete internet. She is um, in the South, and they are having the Arctic. What did I say it was? Arctic blast going through. And so she's currently getting hit. Besides, I know that the video on my end is buffering occasionally. I have full internet strength, full Wi-Fi. So I'm guessing it's just the video, but I think she has also, but on her end, I think she has lost complete internet. Again, she's being hit with the Arctic blast. It was in like the teens, I think she said earlier. I imagine she's going to be having some issues this weekend.
You don't believe so. Do you know? Yes or no?
I don't know for a fact.
You don't know. Did you testify in front of a federal grand jury regarding this matter?
No.
Do you know of anyone in your investigation that testified before a federal grand jury? No. Did you recall telling her that she would be testifying before a federal grand jury the next week?
I honestly don't remember it. I'm not surprised by the information because when we were working with prosecutors' offices at the time, there were both federal prosecutors and state prosecutors that were involved in it. And that sounds like a likely discussion that could have been made that she would need to testify before a grand jury.
The next week.
Like I said, I don't remember those. If I review the video, I probably could speak to it more.
Did you review an interview that Detective Maynard did with Carmen Lauber on the day before that, May 12th, regarding a Zoom meeting he had with different agencies, in this case, federal and state?
I believe so.
And do you recall in that he explained to her what she would be doing in terms of testifying in front of a grand jury?
Again, I don't recall the discussion about the grand jury. If I review the video, I can speak to it more, but I just don't recall it from my memory.
All right,
I don't believe that video is one that I have recently reviewed. I reviewed the initial 3 or 4 that we had with Carmen prior to this hearing.
All right, we'll go back to those in just a minute. Let me ask if you recall this. Do you recall telling her on May 13th that she would be testifying in front of the grand jury, and that the goal would be to convict Kouri Richens of murder? Do you recall that?
No, I do not.
Ms. Lauber got a letter of immunity from the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Utah, did she not?
I believe so, yes.
But you don't know if she testified in front of the grand jury.
I do not.
So tell me the first interview. I'm going to go back now to that initial interview in April 2020, or April 27th, 2023.
2023,
When did that interview end?
when she gets arrested.
Can you tell me the date again? April 27th, the first time we
Yes, the
spoke.
very first time you interviewed her.
We told her that she probably had some things to think on and consider, and that if she decided she wanted to talk to us about this case, that she could contact us, or that we would be in contact with her again shortly.
Yes. So did you tell her you'd be back in a few days after she had some time to think about what had happened?
Yes.
And did you go back in a few days?
Yes.
Do you recall the date that you went back?
I believe it was the following Tuesday.
So if I told you that was May 2nd, 2023, would you have any reason to?
Sounds accurate, yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to talk over each other. Go ahead.
That sounds accurate, yes.
All right. So the second interview, what did you tell Ms. Lauber in that interview?
We told her a lot of things. Do you want to talk about something specific?
All right. Did you ask her if she had time to reconsider her relationship or her activities with Ms. Richens?
I believe so. When when we first sat down, and she entered the interview room, she immediately started telling us that she had been thinking about calling us and wanted to talk to us.
All right. And you reminded her that she was looking at serious charges, and you guys would have her back. You would help if she cooperated.
Yes.
Had you seized a phone, excuse me, a phone from Ms. Lauber at that time?
Yes.
Was there more than one, or did you seize one?
There was more than one. There were two, I believe, that we relied on for evidence and content. There were multiple old phones, I believe, that were seized from her home, but the two that we downloaded and were subject to our investigation, there were two.
Were either of those phones, excuse me, were either of those phones ones that she was using in March of 2022?
I believe so, yes.
I think one of them was. All right. So what did she tell you in that second interview about communications between herself and Ms. Richens that she thought might be helpful to you? Sorry.
In most, if not all, of the interviews that we had with Carmen, her memory went back and forth on what happened, what didn't happen, and which times those things happened. So
Yeah,
chronologically,
I
it's hard
imagine
to
it was
say
pretty skewed.
where we went in the interview. But she began very slowly, and it appeared to us that she was minimizing her involvement, but said that she had participated in some way in getting Kouri illicit substances. And like I said, it began small and her minimizing her involvement and developed into more specific
Okay.
statements.
Um,
And these statements took place.
Triple L, I'm going to email you the StreamYard link again. Give me just a minute here. Okay, that was sent.
Over the course of 3 or 4 additional interviews.
Correct.
Your Honor, the state objects on relevant grounds. As the court's aware, Ms. Lauber submitted testimony by 1102 witness statement. And the standard for the preliminary hearing is notwithstanding credible testimony to the contrary. The court's also well aware that Article 1, Section 12 of our Constitution and progeny case law says that discovery is not a proper purpose for this hearing.
Well,
Help me out where we headed here.
Your Honor, Mr. Bloodworth had stated as we were at the beginning of the hearing that in large part he was putting Detective O'Driscoll on in the interest of fairness and justice because Ms. Richens' current counsel had never had the opportunity to cross-examine him on his prior testimony. And he testified in his prior testimony about these things. So my understanding was that this was our opportunity, since we haven't had one before, that was agreed upon and represented the court, to cross-examine him about that prior testimony, even though this is the preliminary hearing. And these facts very much go to probable cause.
It's the last part that I'm not following you on. How do these go to probable cause? I don't think I've heard anything that sounds like testimony that Carmen Lauber did not have the opportunity to perceive or know the things that she claims to have perceived or known. I don't get to weigh credibility outside of those extraordinary circumstances in a preliminary hearing. I'm trying to give you as much latitude as the state will agree to when I'm staying out of the way, but at some point the limits on probable cause determination kick in.
All right, well, based on the earlier discussion with the court, I'd like to go a little farther in terms of reviewing his testimony from the prior hearing.
Understood. If you need clarification of it, but if I imagine, don't hold me to this, but I imagine that if we,
Oh my gosh. Freddie, I have to agree. She wrote that book so she could keep track of all her lies. I haven't read the book. I don't know what's in it, you know, but yeah, I'm sure she's got stories in it. So I'd have to agree. That's great.
keep reviewing the investigative steps and potential sources of bias on Ms. Lauber, you are going to continue drawing objections regarding relevance.
Judge,
We'll give Ms. Lewis some additional limited latitude here, Mr. Ledford. Let's see where we go.
so when you testified before, did you testify as to how many times Ms. Lauber had allegedly provided drugs to Ms. Richens?
I believe so, yes.
And how many times did you say that happened?
At that time of testimony, we understood there to be 3 transactions that Ms. Lauber participated in with Ms. Richens.
And what were the dates of those 3 transactions?
February 11th, February 26th.
Uh,
And March 9th
nope, there it
of
goes.
2022.
March 9th, after Mr. Richards had passed away.
Correct.
And did you testify at the prior hearing, or do you recall what Ms. Lauber said she provided to Ms. Richards, what sort of drug she provided to Ms. Richards on those 3 occasions?
Again, it went back and forth with details and was clarified the more information she was presented with from phones and other physical evidence. The determination we came to after the conclusion of all 4 interviews was that she had procured some type of prescription or non-prescription opiate on the first transaction, and that the following 2 were fentanyl pills, counterfeit fentanyl pills.
That's the that's the counterfeit fentanyl
And
that he was poisoned
so you
with.
said that in the first interview, she told you that she did deal in fentanyl. Can you just explain what you did in your investigation to try and confirm, how did you come back around to that it was fentanyl?
FYI, law enforcement can lie. They absolutely can. When they are interviewing people, they can lie. They can make up all sorts of stuff to try to get a confession or whatever their strategy is behind lying. They absolutely can do that.
So in the initial interview with Ms. Lauber, and the statements she made about not having dealt in fentanyl before, in my opinion, my experience with interviewing people, especially in custody, I think she was minimizing her involvement. I think she was trying to cover herself from any type of further legal problems. And then after we came back the second time, I think she had changed her mind about how much information she wanted to reveal to us. And that's when she started talking to us about the fentanyl pills, and she recalled specifically that they were fentanyl.
Did you interview other people regarding those transactions?
Investigators from the Summit County Sheriff's Office did, yes. I wasn't involved in every single interview, but yes.
Did she tell you how many pills total that she provided to Ms. Richards, or that she recalled providing?
One moment, please, Mr. Wood.
Your Honor, same reduces relevance and objection. What's going on here is the defense counsel is asking questions about the detention hearing, which the defense counsel has a transcript of. Did she tell you this? Well, we know this because he testified to it.
Let's just assume that this question, which goes directly to the probable cause determination, is foundation for whatever's coming next. So I'm going to allow this.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. All these recordings are, all these interviews are recorded in discovery.
I understand. Your objection to the extent it's relevance is overruled. Ms. Lewis, please proceed.
Did she tell you the number of pills she provided to Ms. Richards?
Are you meaning in total or per transaction?
Either way, whatever is easiest for you to
She
explain.
made an estimate of approximately 15 to 30 pills per transaction.
So
Oh my
total
God.
of
Maximum of 90.
75, 30 to 90,
30 to 90.
45 to 90 pills. All right. Have any of those pills ever been found?
No.
None in the Richards home,
No.
correct? None in Ms. Richards' car, correct?
No.
So you've never had the opportunity to test any pills that were allegedly provided from Ms. Lauber to Ms. Richards, is that correct?
Correct.
Not one, correct?
Correct.
So the only knowledge you have as to what those pills were came from Ms. Lauber, correct?
And corroborating witnesses.
Corroborating witnesses that,
That supplied Ms. Lauber with the pills or put her in contact with the person who supplied her the pills.
All right.
Or drove her to the transactions where the pills were purchased.
okay. Again, though, have you tested any of those pills or found any of those pills so they could be tested?
No, never.
So you actually do not have any idea what the pills were that were given to Ms. Richards, correct?
Just based on the testimony, witness statements by Ms. Lauber and others.
But you don't know.
I don't know.
So you don't know if the pills were OxyContin, correct?
No, I do not.
You don't know if the pills were fentanyl, correct?
Based on what Ms. Lauber told us, she was sure that they were fentanyl. And her description of them match what I know currently to be Drug Trends street illicit fentanyl pills, with the description being a light green to blue round pill.
So let me ask you again. Do you know if any of those pills contain fentanyl?
No, I do not.
Do you know if these pills contained illegal drugs, opioids of any kind?
I do not.
When is the last time you sought evidence in this case?
Sought evidence, is that what you said?
Yes.
The case is active and ongoing until trial. I presume any new information that comes to us will continue to be considered as evidence.
Are you still interviewing witnesses?
Not at this moment, no.
I know you're not at this moment, but you're testifying. Have you recently interviewed witnesses or others investigating this case or involved in this case been interviewing witnesses?
Yes, some of our team have reached out to witnesses that we've talked to in the past and have kept in contact with them.
Have you been provided statements or interviews by a private investigator in this matter?
They've been entered into systems that I have access to, yes. Not personally been provided with them, but yes.
Who's that private investigator work for?
The Richens family, the Eugene Richens family.
Is that who pays this private investigator? Provide information to you?
I assume so.
When was the last time you executed a search warrant in this case?
I believe it was 1 or 2 weeks ago on the Richens home.
Still looking for the pills?
That was to seize a voice recorder that was located in the home.
Just give me one moment. Just back up for one moment about the pills. So you said you interviewed other people. I think it was one other person who provided allegedly fentanyl to his lover. Is that correct?
There were 2 individuals that we interviewed that were reported to have provided the slaughter with pills. One with the non-fentanyl opiates and then with the fentanyl pills.
Okay, so one provided the one that did not have fentanyl, and one provided the ones that she claimed did have fentanyl.
Correct.
Okay, so that individual, or actually either of those individuals, were they manufacturers of those pills?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Well, one of them told you it was for prescription, correct?
I believe Ms. Lauber told us that, would you like me to use names?
That's fine.
I believe Ms. Lauber told us that Ms. Kohler, who she claimed she got the non-fentanyl pills from, that they were somebody's personal prescription.
So we don't actually know when those pills came from either.
No.
All right. And the individual who provided fentanyl, he was not the manufacturer of fentanyl. He told you he didn't manufacture fentanyl, correct?
I believe so. Other detectives in our office, yeah, interviewed him.
Do you know what red devils are?
No, I do not.
Did you record all of your conversations with this lover, or if someone else was interviewing with them, were they all recorded?
Interviews, yes. We've yes.
Besides Kouri Richens, did you interview or investigate into any other possible suspects in this case?
Interview, no. I personally try to keep an open mind as to all possibilities of what could have caused Eric Richens' death. But I didn't conduct interviews with any other suspects that were persons of interest labeled as suspects.
You didn't collect phones or look at anything else from any other suspects, correct?
We collected several phones from involved individuals in this case, and potentially people that could have had access to the Richens home at different times. That could give alternate explanations of how the fentanyl got in the system. But I didn't conduct any interviews of individuals regarding their involvement.
Nothing for your
Mr. Letter, a brief scheduling question. Roughly how much time do you have on redirect?
Less than 10 minutes.
Okay, please proceed. get some more water for the ladies.
There she is.
Thank you, sir.
Detective O'Driscoll, do you recognize what the mark is, states exhibit for identification 68?
Yes,
You testified earlier regarding toxicology on some THC gummies. Do you recall that?
yes,
Does that toxicology report reference the THC gummies that you were testifying to?
it appears to, yes.
And then are you familiar with the difference in toxicology reports between fentanyl being indicated and fentanyl being found?
Yes, I'm remembering discussions with our evidence technicians, our forensic technicians, and that there's a difference there that I didn't know before.
I mean, what was the bottom line of that discussion with the evidence technician?
The bottom line was that something could be tested and indicate for precursors or some chemical structure that I don't fully understand that could indicate possibilities of fentanyl, but the state crime lab won't say for certain that fentanyl is present.
In that instance, the reports reads that one does, all right? Fentanyl indicated, not identified.
Correct. This is fentanyl was indicated in the gummies in the plastic bag.
And actually, this Your Honor, statement states 68 in the evidence.
Is Liz any objection?
No objections under the same considerations of all the exhibits. in this
It'll
hearing.
be admitted for the purpose of the preliminary hearing.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state directs the court to item 14, which begins on the bottom of page 2 and continues to the top of page 3.
Thank you.
Detective O'Driscoll, you testified on cross-examination regarding interviews with Carmen Malver. Remember that?
Yes.
Are all those interviews either audio recorded, video recorded, or audio recorded or audio and video recorded?
Yes.
And to the extent your testimony recollecting back over a year would differ from the recordings, do you think the recording is the accurate testimony?
I do. I sympathize with Ms. Lauder at this point, having been a year past the last time we talked about this.
Sure. Do you have an opportunity to watch a video recording of an assistant U.S. attorney and some federal investigators interviewing Ms. Lauber?
I didn't view it, but I was told about it.
Were you told that they were interviewing her kind of pursuant to a grand jury subpoena and before the grand jury testimony?
Yes, I'm remembering now that their appearance there, their interview of her was in regard to a grand jury subpoena that at the time we were not aware that they were planning.
Regarding Ms. Lauber's testimony, or sorry, Ms. Lauber's interview with you and Detective Major, I want to perhaps clarify some of the transactions. Is it right to say that Ms. Lauber testified to one transaction with Susan Kohler involving Roxy's,
Yes,
and then a transaction involving fentanyl on February the 11th, the second fentanyl on February the 26th, and the third on March 9th?
yes,
Regarding the fentanyl portions of the conversation, separate than the Roxy portions of the conversation, did detectives from Summit County talk with the intermediary between Carmen Lauber and the ultimate fentanyl dealer, Ms. Lauber?
yes,
And did that intermediary say that Ms. Lauber requested fentanyl?
yes,
Did Summit County detectives talk with the man who distributed the fentanyl to Ms. Lauber?
yes,
And did he say that she requested fentanyl
yes,
and that he ultimately provided fentanyl?
yes,
within the scope of reprint, please.
Yes, understood. You said that all interviews with Ms. Lauber were recorded, correct?
For sure, all the ones that I was involved in, yes.
All right. So does that mean that there have been meetings and discussions with her, with Ms. Lauber, and either yourself or other people, the Summit County Sheriff's Office or the prosecution not recorded?
Not that were substantive in content in regards to the case. We have on occasion spoken with Ms. Lauber because she was placed on supervised probation by an out-of-county court. And
I'm gonna have to look into this, but I think if I remember on the first live, Miss Lauber has a bit of a history. In fact, I know she does. Um, so it seems she is well aware of how the legal system works.
was to be under ankle monitor that was supervised by our department. So we have talked to her about compliance with those orders. We have also transported her, given her a ride to meetings with her attorney, and so there has been small talk, but not interview about the case that has not been recorded.
You drive her to her meetings.
She needs a ride sometimes.
So you just, in discussing this with, in answering Mr. Butler's questions, you said that Ms. Lauber provided fentanyl to Ms. Richens 3 times.
I know that Ms. Lauber had difficulty remembering all the details of her interactions with Ms. Richens. I know at the time that we conducted the interviews, what she had told us in those interviews is what I testified to at the detention hearing.
And that was that there was one time, that was oxycodone, and 2 times that she said she delivered fentanyl, isn't that right?
Correct. Since those interviews, new forensic information from cell phones was received, was reviewed, and determined that there were 3 transactions involving fentanyl, including one after Eric Richens' death. I believe the most accurate statement from Ms. Lauber is the 1102 statement that she submitted for today's hearing.
All right. You said that you spoke with the individual who allegedly provided fentanyl to Ms. Lauber and just testified that he told you she asked specifically for fentanyl. That's not accurate though, correct?
He told, from what I'm remembering from watching the video of the other investigators that interviewed him, he told us that Ms. Lauber requested, in his words, blues, which I understand to be fentanyl pills.
Didn't he say she requested Roxy 30s or Roxy's?
It's possible. I think blues was also mentioned.
Roxy's are typically oxycodone, correct?
Yes.
So you're sitting here today, Detective. Can you say with certainty that the pills that Ms. Lauber allegedly gave to Ms. Richens are the pills that were taken by Eric Richens, or the pills that were taken, if any pills were taken by Eric Richens?
No.
And as you sit here right now, do you have any idea, like actual knowledge, not an idea, let me rephrase that, do you have any knowledge of how fentanyl got into Mr. Richens' system? Mr. Richens' system? I'm sorry.
No.
I have
Anything further for the detective, Mr. Butler?
No,
You can step down, sir. Thank you. Mr. Bloodworth, it's now an appropriate time to take lunch break.
yes, sir.
Ms. Lewis, any objection?
no, Your
All right. Come back at 1:30. Does that sound work?
I'm just gonna go through. That's who this is.
All right, great. Let's go there. All right, counsel, let's go back on the record.
Back on the
Back on the
record.
record in 231-500-139. Mr. Bloodworth, anything before we continue with the state's case?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor?
No, sorry, no.
Okay. The state's next witness, please.
Your Honor, the state calls Christopher Kouri Richens.
Do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the fees and penalties of perjury.
Sir, can you please tell us your name?
Kouri Richens.
Is that a common spelling, the last name?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Kouri Richens, can you briefly tell us your background?
Yes, I'm a 23-year law enforcement veteran. The last 11 years of which was spent with the Salt Lake City Police Department Homicide Squad and the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office Homicide Team, where I was an investigator there.
And did you retire from law enforcement?
I did at the end of 2022. I retired.
What have you been doing since then?
I started an investigations firm.
And what's the nature of the investigations that you do?
So we do investigations, training, and consulting work. So regular investigations for criminal and civil offenses, training for attorneys and investigators related to various subject matters. And then I also do some consulting work in criminal and civil cases as well.
Do you have any education, training, or experience with forensic digital evidence?
I do.
Can you briefly describe that?
Ooh.
Yeah, so formal training. I have a 40-hour certification from the ZX Tracks. It's a 40-hour training course, call detail record analysis and location mapping. I also have a 40-hour formal training, also with ZX Tracks, as a subject matter expert.
This might be a good one. I don't know if he's going to go talk about, the phone records of Corey and her mom and Carmen, or if he's just going to talk about the training involved in that. So we'll see.
I'm a Cellbrite certified operator and a Cellbrite physical analyzer certified as well.
Judge, may I ask you, Ms. Kouri, use the mic closer to him?
Thank you. Yeah, and since you talked about that, what is Cellbrite?
So Cellbrite is it's extraction, it's device extraction, hardware and software.
Okay.
It extracts data from.
Celebrate, I think, was used in, I think they talked about it in the Karen Reed trial. I could be wrong.
Electronic devices.
Have you been retained by the state in this case?
I have,
In what role?
as an investigative consultant and to analyze digital forensics data.
And have you analyzed and reviewed digital extractions of cell phones in this case?
Yes, I have.
I want to talk to you about a few phone numbers and just to identify phone numbers of different cell numbers or cell phones you have analyzed in this case. Do you recognize the phone number 435-671-1987?
I do.
Whose phone number is or was that?
That was the primary cell phone for the defendant.
You get kind of quiet again. Can you pull that right from
It's and the phone. There you go.
Normally, that's not an issue.
There. Can you just repeat that answer?
Yeah, that's the primary phone number for the defendant.
When you say primary, does that mean that there were other phone
Probably
numbers
not
that you
anymore.
used?
Yes.
And do you recall what those numbers were?
Yes, there's two other numbers that we're aware of. One ends in 1152, and the other ends in 9592.
And when you say that the 1987 was the primary phone, what leads you to believe that was your primary phone?
In this context, it's the phone that the defendant utilized for her normal, everyday business, communications with most friends, her business, that type of thing.
And the other numbers, let's talk about the 1152. What kind of device was that associated with?
That was associated with her 1987 device, but it was a number being utilized on that device. It was a Google Voice number.
So can you just
Oh,
describe what a Google Voice number is and how it can be used on a cell phone?
Sure, it's basically a number
interesting.
that you create through Google Voice services, and you can use it just like a normal cell phone. You can make calls, receive text, that type of thing. And it's utilized through Google Voice app.
Now the 9592 number, was there a device that was associated with?
Yes,
What was that?
it's referred to in evidence as a blue phone, but it's an iPhone that was obtained by the defendant after her original phone was seized by police in April of 2022.
So was that phone activated roughly at the same time?
Yes.
Now, speaking specifically to the device that 1987 number was associated with, did you observe a forensic extraction of that phone?
Yes,
And did you analyze that extraction?
I did.
Did you notice any information or data deleted from that phone between January and mid-March of 2022?
Yes.
And can you describe what type of or types of data have been deleted off that phone?
A lot of data. Primarily most relevant to the investigations in this case. The call logs, texts, web history, and web search.
So when you say that the texts have been deleted, does that mean the entire text threads between different parties?
Yes.
And was it everybody or in that time frame, or were there specific people?
Pretty much everybody.
You mentioned that web history had been deleted.
Yes.
And was there a specific date that's prior to which that web history had been deleted?
Yeah, so there on that phone, the web history for that device, that primary device, was basically ended. It picked back up on March 10th of 2022, but prior to that, all of it was gone.
The deletions that you observed on that extraction, can you say how those deletions were made?
No, I would presume it was completed like most deletions are completed on a phone, which is manual deletion. But there's no indication in the software of, any other means of that, whether it was active or remote or anything like that.
Okay. The data's just not there.
It's just not there.
I want to talk to you about a person came up during this investigation by the name of Josh Grossman. Did you associate a phone number with a device belonging to him?
Yes.
Do you recall what
That's
that
a new
number was?
name.
The last four is 1260.
And a witness by the name of Carmen Laubert, did you identify numbers belonging to devices that were associated with her?
Yes.
And was there a primary number that was associated with her device?
Yes, I believe the last four of that was 6127.
Same question for a Robert Crozier. Do you recall a number for him?
Yeah, Indian 0540.
And finally, you're almost done with this test. Mr. Richens' phone number. Do you recall his phone number associated with his?
Last four of 9317 for Mr. Richens.
Thank you.
That passed.
Great.
Oh,
I want to talk to you about the defense communications with Carmen Laubert.
so just a quick Google search of Josh Grossman. He is a potential lover of Corey's. So we'll see if that gets brought up.
During the time period, well, let me ask this first. Were you able to determine by other means besides the defendant's phone whether there were communications between those two?
Yes.
And specifically for the time period of roughly January 1st, 2022 and March 15th, 2022?
Yes.
And where were you able to see evidence of those communications?
Through the call detail records.
Who's called detail record?
I primarily focused on the defendants, but also Ms. Loggers as well.
And what does a call detail
Says
record?
handyman lover.
The call detail record is exactly what it sounds like. It's a detail of calls recorded through a carrier. It will tell us
The plot
investigator or anybody
thickens.
looking at the record when a call or text was made or received, the duration of that call, and potentially location information related to that account as well, or that device as well.
And who stores that information?
The carrier.
So that's separate from the data that's extracted from the phone. Right?
Correct.
So if data were deleted off of the phone, would that still be available through the carrier?
The communication, the timestamps and the direction of the communications would, yes.
What about location data?
Yes, potentially.
What you said potentially? What would cause it not to be available?
Time, quite frankly, is usually the inhibitor there. But most carriers retain call detail records for a year to 2 years with location history. It could also be that a carrier
does not report location data for, say, for instance, text messaging. Some carriers do, some carriers don't.
Specifically, the carrier for the defendant's phone, was location data available for the call detail records that you analyzed?
At the time the records were sought, no.
Did you know why that was?
Time. Yeah, Verizon retains location information within call detail records for 1 year.
I would like to turn your attention, if I can grab a finder of the exhibits that have been pre-admitted here, to exhibit 33. Have you seen that exhibit 33 before?
I have.
And what is that?
This is a Facebook Messenger record between Miss Lauber and an individual named Nicole Cummings.
Do you know who
Another name.
Nicole Cummings is relative to this investigation?
I do.
Who is that?
My understanding is a friend of Carmen Lauber, in which the friend is the one in which Carmen received a second phone number for Mr. Cruzier.
Now, turning over to 34, State's Exhibit 34, do you recognize that document?
I do. 34? Yes.
Yes. And what is that?
Shoot. Hey, Freddie, did you
This
happen to
is
catch that
a-
name?
It's like a phone extraction record.
And the bottom input in that record, is there any number there that is relevant to this investigation?
Yes.
What is that?
This is a message, or this is a contact in a device for a number identified as Mr. Crozier's number, the Indian 0540.
And is the name of that contact Robbie-Nick?
Yes.
Is that the same Nicole that we spoke of a moment ago?
Yes.
Now, I don't necessarily need you to go through those, but I'm referring now to State's Exhibit 35. In Ms. Lauber's call detailed records for her device, do you see communications between her and Crozier on February 10th of 2022?
Yes.
And do you recall approximately when those began?
It was in the evening. I don't recall the exact time on the 10th.
Do you see calls between them on February 11th as well?
Yes.
Also on February 11th, through Ms. Lauber's call details records and the defendant's, did you observe any text messages between them on that day?
Yes.
Do you recall how many?
About 30, I believe.
And were there any text messages the next day, February 12th of 2022, between Ms. Lauber and the defendant?
Yes.
And do you recall when those occurred?
I want to say midday, but I'm not 100% sure.
But those would be contained.
Yeah,
in
there's not a lot of
Exhibit 35.
information on
Yes.
And
Nicole.
speaking of these, the call detail
She's
records,
probably
are these in
Not a key
Mountain Daylight
player.
Time or Mountain Standard Time?
These are UTC time.
And UTC is what time?
It's Greenwich Mean Time. It's basically 0. It's a method for everybody to basically stay on the same time zone, as odd as that sounds. Basically, you just add or subtract your time zone from UTC to get local time.
So if these are in February of 2022, what subtraction would have to be made to find the local time?
7 hours. So during daylight savings, when we fall back in November-ish, we go to -7, and then we spring forward in March usually, where we're -6.
Thank you. Moving ahead to the February 14, 2022 call detail records. Did you observe any? Sorry. Did you observe any
Here we
text exchange between
go.
the defendant and Ms. Lauber on that day?
So February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2022 is the first attempted murder of her husband, Eric.
On February 14th? Yes, sir.
You recall approximately how many?
I don't, not off the top of my head. It's several.
More than a dozen?
Yes, I want to say 30 again. Seems right.
I want to turn your attention now to State's Exhibit 43. Well, and before we go on to there, I just want to clarify, when you see this call detail record, you're not seeing the content in any of those messages, correct?
Correct. Only that the message was completed, sent and received.
But when you do a forensic extraction of a device, if the content of those texts are still on the phone, can you see the content at that time?
Yes.
On February 26th of 2022, do you see communications between Ms. Lauber and the defendant on that day?
Yes.
Do you recall when they started communicating?
It was in the evening. I want to, if I recall, around 5 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. on the 26th.
And do you recall when they stopped?
About 10:30 that night.
From those call detail records, specifically from Ms. Lauber's, were you able to see where she traveled that day?
Yes,
And was she at or near a Maverick and Draper that day?
she was.
And how are you able to tell that from the call detail record?
So within that call detail record, AT&T is Ms. Lauber's provider. AT&T does provide location data for SMS messaging. So we're able to determine what tower is being utilized when Ms. Lauber's device made or received text messages as well as calls. So we put it into a mapping software and are able to determine which tower was servicing the device during any given point in time.
So it's the location of the tower that phone is connected with, right?
Yes.
And down in the Salt Lake Valley near Draper, are you able to see multiple towers that I mean, fair to say there's more than one tower in the Salt Lake Valley?
Yes, typically speaking, the more dense the population and the urban area, the more dense the cell phone arrays are.
Does that make it more accurate to pinpoint where that phone is?
Typically, yes.
And is the contrary to that true, the less populated an area is, the less cell towers there are?
Typically, yes.
Speaking specifically about Midway, are there less cell towers in Midway, Utah than there are at Intermediate Draper?
Yes, significantly.
Now, when Ms. Lauber's phone appears on those towers near Draper Maverick, was she there on any other dates besides that 26th?
Yes.
What dates were those?
February 11th, 2022, and March 9th, 2022.
Did you observe her phone being tracked in that area on any other time in the record tape?
Really?
Were you able to track her movements from Summit County to Draper and back?
Yes.
And is that, again, just through tracking the towers that she's speaking off of?
Yes, so the tower utilization, yes.
And we talked a little bit about Midway. Does the precise location become more difficult when she's in a more rural area?
In this case, yes.
Okay, and why is that?
You have less towers serving a larger area. So with a larger estimated range or area in which the device can be in, the harder it is to pinpoint more precise location.
I want to turn your attention now to Exhibit 31. Flip that. Do you recognize what's depicted in Exhibit 31?
I do.
And what is that?
Is a depiction of messaging on a device from January 18th and January 20th of 2022.
And
I wish they would show it. I can see it. It's kind of like right there. I want to see it.
the top of that, the first page there says Kouri. Do you recall whose device these images are taken from?
I believe they're from Miss Lovers.
Can you take one more look at those?
I will, yes.
Could this be from a phone belonging to a Hayden Jeffs?
I need to look at the context.
Oh, sure, sorry, just to make sure I'm looking at the right thing.
Yes, I misspoke. These are devices from Mr. Jeff's phone. Or I'm sorry, messages from Mr. Jeff's phone.
And they start on January 18th and they go to January 22nd.
That's correct, yes.
I ask you to flip to States Exhibit 36. Do you recognize the record depicted there?
I do.
Is that for the number ending 1987, the device belonging to the defendant?
It is, yes.
Was there a call made at 8:53 a.m. on February 14th?
Yes,
And do you know who that call was made to?
I do.
Who's that?
A Mirror Lake Diner.
And moving to States Exhibit 38.
They went out to dinner that day
But he's called
on the
Detail
14th,
number
so
9317.
Yes,
And that belonged
possibly.
to Mayor Richens.
yes,
Was there a phone call between Mr. Richens and the defendant at about 11:09 a.m. that morning?
yes,
And is there a record of a photo being sent or some sort of multimedia message at 11:27 that morning?
yes, and that was obtained via Mr. Rich's device.
Okay, so that's not here in the call detail record. That's
Correct. It's his physical device. Yes.
Were we able to see what that image was?
No,
Was that deleted from his phone?
it appeared to be yes.
And were we able to see that on the extraction of the defendant's phone?
No,
Why is that?
all of that was presumably deleted from the defendant's phone as well.
Did the activity on Mr. Richard's phone on the 14th of February 2022, did that cease between 11:39 a.m. and 1:32 p.m.?
Yes,
Was he active on that phone before and after that time period?
yes, it was.
And can you describe the volume of his activity?
It would be what I would describe as normal phone traffic for that device. Calls and texts between friends, business related things of that nature, yes.
Now, I'm not certain it's made it into the binder. I've handed you what's been marked as and admitted as States Exhibit 7A. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that image of?
This is a screenshot obtained from a device of the defendant's phone, her navigation app within her device.
And is that from February 14th of 2022?
It is
So this has not been deleted, correct?
from the defendant's phone. It was not in the defendant's phone. It was in Mr. Grossman's phone.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Did that originate from the defendant's phone?
Yes,
Was that sent to Mr. Grossman?
it was.
And was that sent at approximately 9:48 a.m. on February 14th?
Yes.
But can you just give a little more description about what that navigation shows?
Sure, it's a typical screenshot of a normal navigation application. There is a location on Rockcliffe Road. The device is traveling, or it's depicted that the device is traveling northbound, and it gives an arrival time, an estimated time of arrival, and a mileage for that trip that is depicted.
And on Mr. Grossman's phone, were you able to read any text messages surrounding this time frame?
Yes,
And did the defendant indicate why she was sending this to him?
yes.
Why is that?
She said she was on her way to see him. He asked if it was about an hour, if she was about an hour away, and she said yes and sent him this screenshot to verify her ETA.
Speaking to the defendant's communications with Mr. Grossman, do you recall approximately when those began?
For the 1152 number, which is the first one I'm aware of, it began, I have a trail, basically a digital trail on that phone beginning in November of 2021.
And what was the volume of text calls, anything of that nature, up until March of 2022?
The volume varied depending on the day, but it was pretty much daily communication between the two during that time frame.
And are these phone calls and text messages?
Mostly text, but yes, some phone calls.
And have a number of those texts been recovered from Mr. Grossman's phone?
Yes.
And if I could just have you just thumb through exhibits 29 and 30. Are those excerpts from the extraction of Mr. Grossman's phone?
Yes.
And are they approximately December and January of 2021, 2022?
Yes.
And if I could have you thumb through 39 through 42. Are those also excerpts from the interaction with Mr. Grossman's phone?
Yes.
And are those roughly the time frame of February and March of 2022?
Yes.
And finally, three exhibits, 44, 45, 46. You can look at those. Similar question, also excerpts from Mr. Grossman's phone.
Yes.
And are those specifically March 2nd and March 3rd of 2022?
Yes.
And finally, exhibits 15 and 51, if you could look at those.
Okay.
Also excerpts from that interaction.
Yes.
And a little bit later in time, March 20th and April 9th.
Correct. Yes.
So it's fair to say around the time that Mr. Richens passed away, there were ongoing messages between the defendant and Mr. Grossman.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you now about the extraction from the defendant's phone relative to the morning of March 4th, 2022. We discussed this at the detention hearing, correct?
Yes, we did.
And at that time, you were relatively new to this case.
I was, yes.
Have you had a chance to analyze further the data on the defendant's phone regarding that date?
Yes.
I asked you at that time about movement on the phone at approximately 3:08 a.m. You recall that?
I do, yes.
Are you able to say at this time whether that was the phone itself moving or a connected device moving?
It appears to be a connected device.
And when you say a connected device, what's that mean?
In this case, I believe it to be a smartwatch. It's a device connected to for instance, the defendant's cell phone that is tracking movement data.
When was the defendant's phone first unlocked that morning?
Right before 3:07 a.m.
And this movement activity, when did that take place?
3:08.
You recall how far the connected device moved?
I believe it was about 250 feet.
And was there a series of unlocks on that phone in the next 15 minutes?
Yes.
Was there additional movement around 3:21?
Yes.
You recall approximately how much?
I believe it was around 140 feet, 143 feet.
Do you see a 911 call on that device?
Yes.
What time did that happen?
Just after 3:21 a.m.
You recall that approximately 140 feet was made before or after the net. So in the about that 15-minute time frame, the connected device moved about 370 feet.
Correct.
Here, I just have them. Thank you, Mr. Quintridimus. Those are all the questions I have for you this time. Thanks.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, my cat, my Willow's, my Willow, who is, the I named my channel after, is active and staring at me from the hallway. Silly girl.
Afternoon.
Afternoon, Jorge.
Doing great. How are you? Good. All right. Let's talk about, go to State's Exhibit 45, please. Let me know when you're there.
Okay, I'm there.
Mr. Hill had you review Exhibits 44, 45, and 46. You recall that?
I do.
And he asked you whether that indicated there was communication between Mr.
That's a good catch, Freddie. I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see, is that on the witness stand? I'll have to take a look.
Richens as well as Mr. Grossman. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay, so let's go to 44. And on 44, how is one of the senders or the parties identified as?
On 44,
Yes.
we have Mr. Grossman.
Perfect.
Yes.
And then let's go to 45, and how is one of the parties identified as?
My princess.
And then above that, where it says under party, first number 1, it says from, and then it has owner.
Yes, 9317 is Mr. Richens' number.
So that is not Mr. Grossman.
Correct.
Okay. So just to clarify, going back to Mr. Hill's questions, your testimony that what was included in Exhibit 45 was Mr. Grossman, that was incorrect.
Yes, I was mistaken.
Okay. You indicated that you were asked about the usage on the phone, about whether it was you indicated it
This
was
guy
normal
looks
tracking
really
that device.
familiar.
Recall that? And Mr. Richens' phone, just now.
About normal usage. Sorry. Yes.
Phone calls,
Yes.
text messages.
Yes.
Interestingly, you said normal tracking for that device. I suspect you mean for that person.
They can be one and the same, yes.
The device doesn't do anything by itself.
Right, it has to be manipulated.
I don't know if he's just got like a
When you say normal
familiar
tracking for that device,
type of
you know what
face.
usage
He
that
does
person-
look
that
familiar
device
to me.
belonged to.
Typically, yes.
Okay. You have no way of knowing really what the normal usage is, unless you review everything, correct?
To the number, no.
Perfect. Perfect. You indicated that when responding to deletions on Ms. Richens' phone, you indicated that it was from everybody.
Yes. Pretty much, yes.
Was there a time frame for that?
Yes.
What was it?
January through March. About March 10th or so.
And that was for which phone?
That was for the 1987 number.
Perfect. Testified about attending a Cellbrite certified operator course.
Yes.
When was that?
2017.
Have you been recertified since then?
I have not.
A Cellbrite physical analyzer course as well?
Yes.
And when was that?
The same time, 2017.
Then a 40-hour cell phone analysis and mapping course.
Yes.
That one was not through Celebrite, that was through Zetex and Trax. Is that what it was?
ZedX is the company?
Correct.
Trax is the program, yes.
Thank you. And so separate from Celebrite, but when was that?
The initial was, I believe, in 2013, and the subject matter expert class was in 2017.
And have you been recertified in that?
No.
The Trax technology gathered from the testimony, that's related to mapping?
Yes.
Okay. And is that what you used here?
Yes.
Now, you were retained by the Suffolk County Attorney's Office, is that correct?
Correct.
Were you hired by anybody else?
No.
And it was specifically to evaluate the digital evidence in this case,
Yes.
to analyze it,
Yes.
specifically phone extractions
Yes.
of Eric Richens,
Correct.
of Kouri Richens,
Yes.
of Carmen Lawler,
Yes.
others.
Yes.
And to be clear, you didn't perform the extractions.
Correct.
Who performed Kouri's on any of her phones?
I believe the RCFL did those.
Who at RCFL?
I don't know that.
Who did the extraction on Eric's phone?
I don't know.
Who did the extraction on Carmen's phone?
I don't know.
What about the other phones?
I don't know. The examiner's name is in each report, but I don't know them on there.
So you didn't perform the extractions. You weren't present when they were done.
Correct.
In fact, I think if my timeline's correct, you were hired after the extractions were done.
Yes, for most of them.
So you don't have the benefit of having observed the extraction examiner do the extraction.
Correct.
Or validate the results of the extraction.
Through the examiner, no.
And you don't have the privilege of observing the extraction examiner perform manual decoding methods.
Correct.
Or manual decoding methods in the hexadecimal code.
Correct.
You didn't confirm whether the examiner.
Don't know who this guy is, but so far I'm really liking his technique, his, you know, hi- um, his line of questioning. I like this defense attorney. So far, I think he's pretty good.
The extraction examiner validated their extraction codes.
No.
Let's talk about the Celebrite extraction process. Okay. We're going to go from the device to the data. Okay. That, I'd like to be so visual. So this is a target device.
Right.
Let's assume this is a target device. Let's hope it's not a target device for my sake.
Right.
This is a target device. We're going to say that this right here is UFED. Okay, so that is the Universal Forensic Extraction Device, correct?
Yes.
That's what it stands for?
Yes, Your Honor, I would make an objection at this point as to relevance. I don't know if this is necessary at this point in time to a probable cause standard.
Not sure where we're headed, so I'm gonna give Mr. Ramos a little latitude here until I know where we're headed.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure he's going somewhere.
This is UFED. Okay. You're going to plug this into this, and then what it's going to do is it's going to spit out something.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I mean, it's not the technical term. So once we have that, it's in a raw format.
Correct.
Now, you have been given, when you were brought on, the output, what it spit out.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So your testimony, both at the detention hearing and here, is based on this, on the spit out version.
Correct.
Okay. You have not received the raw data.
There is raw data available, but right now.
Correct. There is raw data available. You have not received it.
Correct.
You have not analyzed it.
Correct.
You have not cross-referenced it with what you were given.
Correct.
Now,
Freddie, I see what you mean about the black cloths. Um, that can be pretty normal, especially if they want to, um, cover up any kind of handcuffs or ankle, leg shackles, anything like that, things to hide. Even though I don't think she was handcuffed or anything, I don't really know. Um, Even though there's no jury present, and plus I think it just makes it a little bit more professional looking. I've seen that black um, cloth dressing, whatever you want to call it, on those tables before. Even though it looks taped right there, but
When you state that information was deleted, it doesn't tell you in what you've been given how that happened.
Correct.
Why that happened.
Correct.
Where it happened.
Also correct.
The raw data could potentially hold that.
Potentially.
Now, you use Celebrite, these extraction tools, you rely on them to provide you this information so that you could then assist, in this case, the Summit County Attorney's Office, with their case, correct?
Correct.
With meeting probable cause standards.
Correct.
In terms of location of individuals,
Yes.
such as Ms. Lauber.
Yes.
Now, to be clear, I only have what you've been given as well. So I'm relying on the information that has been spit out, but not on the raw data, just so we're clear. I want to talk to you about your validation process. Validation of data. As, or having been rather, certified, you know the importance of being able to validate the data that you review.
Yes.
One of those methods is possibly to use it with or compared to the raw data. That's one way.
Yes.
Another way is perhaps to use the cell data location from call detail record.
Yes.
In terms of location.
Yes.
Now, when you use the software, that was a form of validating. Sorry, I apologize. The tracks technology, that tracks software.
Yes.
That's a way of validating whether the information that you receive is accurate.
Correct.
You talked about the cell tower.
Yes.
Now, this program, going back to spitting, does it spit out something for you?
It does.
Okay. Now, have you provided that to the Summit County Attorney's Office?
Yes. You're talking about the mapping.
Mapping?
Yes.
Okay. And are those towers that you referenced earlier, are they sectorized or omnidirectional?
They're sector.
When you use that program, were you aware at that point that that software had been found to be unreliable in courts?
I'm not aware of that.
You've not been aware of that. But you haven't been certified since 2017.
I've been certified since 2017, but I've not. There was no need for research on that course. It's a learning and it's a continuing education.
What software version did you use for the tracks software?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
When you did it, was it the most up to date?
Yes, as far as I know.
Had you updated it since 2017?
Yes, it's web-based, so it's updated constantly. So you can rely on the fact that if you're updating, say today, that would be the most up-to-date software package.
And what about Cellbrite itself, your Cellbrite certification process?
Yes.
There are no requirements
Correct.
to recertify,
Correct.
but they do recommend that you recertify
They do.
every 2 years.
They do.
But you've not done that.
Correct.
Along those same lines, there is no state of Utah, say, standard for mobile forensic extraction.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
There's no national one.
No.
There's no international one. It's pretty much whatever Celebrite says.
Well, they're one company.
Correct. So, to my point.
Yeah.
you review or were you given rather any mobile data sets from the individuals who performed the extractions on all these phones? Like sample data sets, controlled data sets?
No.
Are you familiar with external enrichment?
I'm not.
Or you had indicated rather, you asked about the activity sensor of a Apple Watch.
Yes.
How did you determine between the detention hearing and now that it was in fact an Apple?
Review of the download stated self-driving extraction out it was a connected device.
Now,
Oh my God.
are you qualified?
I just noticed, y'all, oh my God, that I have this new headset and it has a volume control actually on the headset. I got so used to using the computer, I completely forgot. I could have had this guy turned all the way up from the beginning to hear it. I can't boost the mic volume, but I could have boosted my own.
In mobility metrics?
No.
Do you know what mobility metrics are?
No.
You testified about the distance that was covered on the morning of March 4th by a connected device.
Yes.
And you were very specific on the number. Okay?
Yes, more or less.
But you don't know how that number was calculated.
I don't know the internal calculation process of the device system.
You just read it.
Yes.
You read what was spit out.
Correct.
You don't have the data, the raw data. Correct?
Correct.
So everything you've testified to is basically because you've read it.
Well, yes, and the extractions from the devices, but yes.
Correct. Just what was given to you.
Yes.
Were there items that were deleted from Mr. Richens' phone
From Mr. Richens' phone?
or Eric's?
Not that I'm aware of.
But it could be.
Could be.
Have you ever worked with Mr. Todd Gabler
With? No.
alongside
And quite frankly, against.
on this case?
No. Well, with, yes, on this case,
With on
yes.
this case. And has he provided information to you?
Yes.
Has any of that information been used in your testimony today?
No.
I believe that's it, Judge. Let me just have this quick second.
Take a moment.
Okay. Ms. Nestor, just push the button.
Thank you. Sorry.
Just a couple more. You're on. Go ahead. Has the Richens family ever hired you?
No.
Have they ever paid you?
No.
I did tell a lawyer.
It's some point.
Let's just check for a second, folks.
It's not like my conscience was speaking.
Check my Brittany broke it. Yeah, my mic. Why would he need something that's going overhead? I think, well, the things going overhead are muted, so.
A lot of
things go over my head. There we go. Oh, there we are. Just saying. Last question. Did you want me to repeat that?
Have they ever paid you?
Yeah. Perfect. What was provided to you by Todd Cable?
Off the top of my head, mostly tolls.
Tolls?
Yeah. Yeah. Call tools, toll records from the Verizon toll records.
No further questions. Okay, thank you. Mr. Hill, your reader. Okay.
Mr. Ramos asked you about any deletions that you observed from Eric Rich's phone. And you had previously testified that a picture that he sent on the 14th was deleted.
Oh, yes, that's correct, yeah.
How could you tell that that was deleted?
Well, it's not present any longer. It shows a file path that it used to exist, but the image itself is not there.
And so to follow that, when he asked you if there's anything else that's deleted, did you see anything similar to that picture or any remnants on that phone or relics that showed deletion the same way that photo did?
Not that I can recall.
Thank you. That's the only question.
Mr. Ramos, anything on that?
No, Your Honor.
Can we let this gentleman step down? Yes. You can step down, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, can I suggest please a brief recess? Mr. Burns has been set up a computer
Okay.
for about an hour.
No problem. Why don't we take a 5-minute recess? Who's testifying after the recess?
Your Honor, Ms. Carrington, Brooke Carrington.
Okay, she's present.
She is.
All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop for the day, and then we'll pick up. We'll finish with this. With this preliminary hearing, and then we'll also go on to day 2 of the preliminary hearing, and then maybe do some get some information on Carmen Lauber and Josh Grossman, and then continue with the timeline on the next stream. So I think that's going to be it for today. I don't think I'll be able to go live tomorrow. I do have some things I have going on. And also for those that are football fans, I believe the Seahawks are playing tomorrow. If you're a Seahawks fan, for the NFC, AFC championships, I'll be doing that. So probably not till Monday or Tuesday, but I will keep you guys updated. I'll probably just post on the community tab. So keep your notifications on. I had been trying to schedule lives in advance, but with my health and other variety of other things, it just doesn't work out. So I did find that just doing a community post and saying, "Hey, I'll be live in an hour," works a heck of a lot better. So I might be doing that instead. Other than that, I will see y'all later. All right, bye.